Hello guys, my name is Henry Oster and welcome to the Microfinance Arena channel. Today we are going to be interviewing Mr. Cletus, a very dynamic speaker, a credit analyst. Mr. Cletus, nice meeting you. Can we do a little bit about you?
I am Cletus Udiong. So I've had a plethora of experience in microfinance business. I actually worked with Nigerian. I've worked in the diverse position in microfinance business. Nigerian actually recruited me to work with them as a relationship officer. Then this actually gave me an edge over other staff because as a credit control officer, I learned a lot. Then I equally advanced working with other microfinance bank as a deputy branch manager. That is Personal Trust Microfinance Bank, now First Ally. I am working with Aidlife Empowerment as the chief operating officer. I'm equally overseeing credit department too, the head of credit and then analysis too.
Wow, quite an experience there, Mr. Cletus. I can see you've gone around the microfinance industry and so far so good. You are still in the industry. I'd like to know more about your company here, your business, the name of your bank. You've told us your role, you are the CCO, which is a wonderful role. The name of the bank and what you do here.
Okay, are into lending. The business actually requires experienced hands for you to be able to make or for you to be able to record success in the business. So Aidlife Empowerment Limited has actually gone a long way to giving out money, lending money to both low income earners, the traders. It involves a lot of products with we're talking about micro customers and then the macro customers too.
Thank you very much for that, Mr. Cletus. That's a wonderful analysis. I like also to take questions from strategic vision and leadership. In your own view, how is microfinance evolving in 2025, especially relationship to digital transformation and financial inclusion?
Microfinance bank and institutions have adopted is quite different from when we started far way back, which all that we were doing is being a kind of yes, carrying files here and there. But today you can see that because of technology, they even make it easier for loan to be disbursed to customers. Even online, you can access the customers' credit history, repayment history, their performance online, and actually disburse their income. You can access them, all those things online. Then when we talk about the financial inclusion, then this is whereby the company, the microfinance institution and bank, do more by reaching out to the unbanked, the customers that are living or that do not have the ability, the educational qualification to get money from bank or microfinance bank. So we do more by reaching out to them in their own local area, open accounts for them, make sure that they have a NIN and the valid means of identification card, all those things needed, and at the end of it, they are able to get access to facilities.
That's quite elaborate. Still on strategic vision and leadership, what do you see our position in life as a good competitor in the microfinance industry?
You see, we have a lot of competitors outside there. The experience on the job goes a long way to helping our company grow. I know we have some good hands currently in our companies, and that has actually helped us. There are some strategies we have adopted, though we may not be able to expose all of them. But there are general ones which I will have to make you know. Number one, we talk of flexibility.
That's good.
Customer having access to credit facility is not we are not supposed to make it in such a way that they are difficult, so rigid for them to have access to this compared to what is obtainable in the commercial sector. Talk about the turnaround time. Then we talk about the low interest rate, and the interest rate should be very, very competitive with what is outside in the market. Then it shouldn't be that your interest rate is so high, because this customer too make profit. When they get money from you, they need to use buy goods, sell, and then have profit. But when your own profit is actually too much, it can actually make them to default.
Okay, this question is for you, Mr. Cletus. You are a top level leader in Aidlife. How do you manage your social life with your financial sustainability? Your social life and your work and your finances. How do you balance it? The time you put in your work and the time you need to balance your social life, does it commensurate?
Yes, as far as I am concerned, we are all humans, so we do our best to make sure that my social life don't clash with my finances, because without the finance, there is no way I can socialize. There is no way I can go out to have fun and can go out to. So I am being careful not to allow my social life to clash with that of my work, but I do my best to make sure I balance the two. While I am in the office, I give my absolute best to my work, and while I am out there, I make sure I have good time with my family, my children, and then that's how it is.
All right. This takes us to the next question, which is under operational and risk management, which is key for business. Microfinance operates in a high-risk environment. What innovation system have you implemented to manage credit?
Management would have to set out the credit policies and then procedures. Yes, the credit policies and then the procedures to ensure that a particular customers have or is eligible or qualifies for the credit or the facility. The next one is credit assessment. You see, the credit assessment has to do with assessing the customer's financial capacity, the capability, in which this can be done in diverse ways. You go through the customer's statement of account, that's the financial record, the statement of account, to see the inflow and the outflow. Yes, and then you look at it, you take time, go through the statement of account. This will reveal if this customer is actually on loan with other people, because some of these customers, they disburse into their account directly, so you should be able to see all these things. The credit bureau check goes a long way to telling us if this customer is heavily indebted, because these two would show if the customer has the capacity to take the facility. Because if the customer is already on loan with other institutions, all this debt would have to be factored into the profit and loss account of the customer. Then you talk of loan monitoring and stroke review. This has to do with tracking customers' loan and performance, payment behavior, and credit and condition that could affect the customer's ability to pay. We need to go extra mile to verify these customers, to check whatsoever they are doing, their payment behavior, how they have been paying. Just as I mentioned earlier, the credit bureau would show how these customers will pay or have been paying. For instance, a customer that collects loan since 2 years ago and is still showing that this customer is still owing that company. That means that this customer does not have a good credit history. But the challenge here is that most of the microfinance institutions that just came up are unable to pay for this particular service, this credit and bureau check. So it poses a serious threat to them in the sense that they will just go there, meet the customer, look at the business is there, inventories are all here, and they think, oh, this customer is actually doing well, not knowing that they are heavily indebted to other microfinance banks and institutions. So you go ahead and disburse without knowing that they are heavily indebted. So the credit bureau check will go a long way to showing you that this customer's credit record is bad. And once you realize that this customer's credit record and history is bad, you avoid them.
Yeah, thank you very much. So this is a question that personally goes to you in this business. I know everybody has their own challenges. What keeps you up at night that doesn't make you sleep pertaining this work and your role?
Okay. Looking at what we call portfolio at risk, the power of the company. And you know, there is a certain threshold in which the company's portfolio at risk is not supposed to go beyond. It's supposed to be within that threshold. So it is something that keeps me busy, that I keep checking all through the night, and immediately I see that it is close to. So it gives me so much headache, and before you know it, the following day, I summon all the marketers, come, why is this person not paying? Why is this all of us? You people have to go out for recovery, repayment, collection. So PAR here, when we talk of this portfolio at risk, it is often considered as the virus that it dipped into the institution or the company's financial status. In fact, it can kill the business.
That is deep.
It can kill the business if you don't, or the company don't monitor this and ensure that it is kept within the threshold. It can destroy business. This is one of the problems that some of the financial institutions, the microfinance institution, the microfinance bank, don't actually understand. So they don't pay much attention to this, and at the end of it, it destroys the business, and they end up closing down the business.
Very much, Mr. Cletus. That's very deep, because I want to believe that's a general problem that all financial institutions are trying to take away from the box. Now let's look at customer-centric focus. Briefly, some businesses are more about themselves, some are more about their staff, some are more about their customer. Now let me repeat again. Some are more about themselves, which means the management looks at me first. Some MFI looks at their staff first and say, no, it's my staff. While some looks at their customer first. So where do you fit in?
Okay. If you are knowledgeable about this business, you should know that all these three things, the staff, the company's profitability, and then the customers, are very key. And we don't need to prioritize one over the other. So we need to make sure we do our best to balance the three. Because without the staff, especially the marketers, there is no way you would be able to get customers. So the marketers are the ones sourcing for these customers. So, and then at the same time, the profitability of the company shouldn't be overlooked. So we do everything to balance the three, because there is no way we can exist in the business without making profit, because it is the profit that we get, that we use to pay the staff salary. It's from the profit that we use to take care of other overhead expenditure. So the three of them are very, very key. So you are focused on the three. You are tripartite on the business movement. Briefly, let's talk about technology and innovation. We know right now that the era of brick and mortar is quietly
dying. We're in 2025. I know that by the time we're in 2020, maybe nobody will be going to any microfinance bank to actually look. So I want to ask, how have you positioned yourself for technology from now on and 2025?
2020.
Due to your lending plans and your savings plans, what plan do you have for technology and innovation?
Well, as far as I am concerned, it is not supposed to be done in an haphazard manner. It is something that it has to be very, very procedural before we actually move into fintech, disbursing online loan, and then advancing to another level. So it's something that we need to be very careful about. We study, we understand a lot of research. So you can see with me, it is very, very procedural. It is one of our vision. It's one of the things we put down to do in the near future. So we are carefully considering a lot of things, making research, putting one or two things in place, which I believe as at that time we would succeed.
Yeah. Thank you very much. On the future impact and future outlook for microfinance banker, beyond customers repayment, because that's how we basically measure customer in this industry. Beyond payment, how else do you measure your customer?
Okay, it is not just enough for you to write them off and say, this customer has not been doing well. Actually, you know that it's not easy out there to get customers, especially if it is the customers that have been doing business with you for years. So for the fact that he's unable to pay this time as she used to pay, you decide to dump the customer. So it is not a good idea. So what we do is we go out there, especially someone like me, I would visit the customer personally, begin to ask for the remote cause of this. What is happening, madam? Why have you not been paying when you are supposed to pay? What is happening? Then you begin to hear from this customer. We are experienced enough to know the customer that will tell you lie, because as we are asking questions, I will be asking. As we are answering, I will be asking you a lot of things, and I will be using my eyes to look at your business. Then we check your credit, we check your credit history using credit bureau to know actually if you are heavily indebted, because it could actually be the reason why you have not been paying well. So before we actually draw a conclusion, so we need to ask you questions, visit you, ask you questions, what is happening, then do our research by visiting your credit history to look at it, then before we can actually conclude.
That's good. Still on impact and future outlook, what is one's misconception about the microfinance as a whole, from the public aspect, and from the regulator aspect?
Okay. One of the misconceptions on the public side is that, you see, the public always believe that credit advanced to them by a microfinance institution or a microfinance bank is a government money that they don't need to pay back.
Wow.
But this is not true.
National cake.
Yes, this is not true. So because the misconception concerning the management is that they always feel that it is so much, it is easier for you to get a customer. Go there, get this customer, disburse to, and then this and that. That is why you could say that sometimes they will tell you, don't disburse to this customer. Oh, go and get our money. No. It is not done that way. So that is why I'm saying that we need to be careful. We need to ask questions. Sometimes it is not enough for you to just conclude. Go there, visit this customer, ask questions.
See what's happening.
Yes. So before you conclude, so that is how it is.
Thank you very much. Let me go on to leadership insight. Now, this is a personal question. It's always difficult to handle this kind of question. So my question would be, can you share a difficult decision you made as a leader and how it shaped your institution?
Not keeping staff that are indisciplined, staff that have always shown indiscipline. They are not disciplined, fraudulent staff. The moment you sense one, or a moment I sense that this staff is being fraudulent, that the staff has involved in one or two things that could actually affect the financial position of the company, you are gone.
That's it.
You are gone. So we don't joke with that. And then when it comes to staffing discipline, we make sure we take action, and one of those action could be a disciplinary action, which is actually an action taken in order to correct unnecessary and unacceptable behavior inherent by the employees, because all over the world, staff indiscipline has been seen as being one of the reasons why most of the organizations failed.
All right. Thank you very much. That if we must discipline them, then we must also give them tools or make them better. So in this line, I'm going to be taking my next section from staff training, motivation, and development. So my first question is, how do you keep your staff motivated in a challenging operational environment?
We talk of motivations in another way could be defined as that internal stimulus, that internal energizer capable of directing one's effort toward a particular direction. Some staff could be monetary motivated. Okay. Some could be in the sense that you call them into the management, come and do a little contribution. Some of them could be motivated by adding more job responsibilities to them. So all these things are taken into consideration. So staff motivation is very, very key to the success of the business.
Wow. Thank you very much. From my findings, you worked in this organization now, I think this should be the third year or above. How has your motivation in the first year, has it your motivation towards your staff, or what they think motivation is, has it changed from the first year you started till now, or is it the same motivational style?
Actually, it has changed. It has changed in the sense that when we started, staff actually believed that motivation should be monetary throughout. So I equally have to let them know that it is not all about the monetary inducement. What if you are motivated in monetary terms and you are unable to give it back to the company? Because to whom much is given, much is expected. So I equally taught them and made them to realize that training is actually part of it, and I equally bring some of them into the business by making them to give their contribution.
That's good.
We listen to them, and then we look at their contribution, the points they have given out, then we analyze it, and then we pick some things from it.
That's
so
good.
That's how it goes, yeah.
Briefly, let me talk about staff and business challenges. How do you manage fraud? I think that's one of the main prevailing things in the industry.
You see, your ability to follow up with the customers, especially when you realize that these customers has not been paying consistently for some weeks or months. You would have been wondering what is happening. This is the customer that have been making payment very well. So what is actually happening? So your ability to follow up directly with the customers, even paying them a visit to ask questions, why have you not been making payment? You know, it goes a long way to checkmating all these fraudulent acts. Yes, the moment you visit there, even without the marketer's knowledge, goes a long way to checking this thing, and the money they have been going there to collect, has it been remitted to the company's bank account. And another thing is encouraging the customers to do their transfer directly into the company's bank account. Because some of the arrows going there every time to collect money, some of them are yes.
Okay, then what affects your mission drift from customer-centric now to full-blown profit-centric? Initially, when you started, it's all about the customer, but now, customer, you can just sit down right now, we need to make profit. So what can make you, as a bank,
prioritize profit making too? Oh, yes.
Exactly.
To customer. Okay.
What will make you prioritize profit over customer-centric?
Nothing, actually nothing, because without customers, there won't be any profit. So we have to balance the two. As we are talking about profit making, we are equally thinking about customers, because it is customers that brings about profit. So we do all that we can to and to balance the two.
All right, that is good. Finally, who is your mentor in the industry? How many years have you been in the industry?
I've worked for several years. I'm not mistaken. Should be more than 15 years.
Wow.
Yes. When you talk, I would never forget Mr. Joseph Uhunamure.
As your mentor, right?
Yes, Mr. Joseph Uhunamure in Leshego, ABN Microfinance Bank, and then in First Allies. So he's a real mentor. He understands the business and he knows the job. So
Mr. Joseph Uhunamure, hope you heard that. Mr. Cleto said you are a mentor, and I can see you have done a good work in mentoring him well. We will see soon. So thank you very much. This brings us to the close of our interview with Mr. Cletus Udian, who is the COO of Aidlife Empowerment Center here in Ijebu. It's nice being with you. We will be seeing in our next episode. God bless you. My name once more is Henry Oster from Microfinance Arena. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Henry Onyema. God bless you too.